everybody, this is Rory Francis, and you're watching another segment of Manufacturing Champions. I have my co-host, Terry Iverson, always has a great guest for us. And before we bring on our guests, I just want to, manufacturing, and I always say this, to move the ball forward, we need academia, we need government, and we need the actual OEMs and manufacturers working in concert, you know, and all doing their piece and part and talking to each other. Today, Terry, I believe you brought someone from the education field that actually has a true understanding of manufacturing. I'm really looking forward to hearing from her. Terry?
Thank you, Rory. Today, we're going to have Alicia Koepke from Chippewa Middle School. She is a STEM teacher, and I've been so very fortunate to cross paths. And in our Camp Champ endeavor, Alicia has had not one, but 2 episodes of Camp Champ at Iverson and Company with her middle school. So Alicia, tell me a little bit about the experience, both either the first and or second time that your students had with Camp Champ.
Terry, both times were incredible. It's so nice to be able to take my students outside of the classroom and see what's happening in the real world. A lot of times they don't have these experiences and they're not able to see it, but actually being able to come to your company and see everything live and what you actually do and what manufacturing is about was truly a privilege for my students.
Alicia, tell me a little bit about some of the transformations that you witnessed with, you know, any one of the young people, either collectively or individually, of their perception about what manufacturing was or is.
So at first, when I ask students what is manufacturing, they just think, oh, it's a part of business and they make things. And when they get to see it hands-on and they come and get to go through all the stations you set up and see all the CNC machines and how it really is a true process and takes a lot of skill to do, they realize there's so much more to it than that. And they come back to school and they show all their friends, look what we made. We went through these different things. We got to use a laser engraver. We got to, you know, polish the wood and cut it down. And they really understand the process when they see it hands-on. And then they bring that home to their parents, and it just opens up a whole world of opportunities for them.
Okay, so you kind of hit the nail on the head here. Talk about what your feedback has been from the parents, because we know the parents don't necessarily have the latest, you know, data set and the latest perception about manufacturing, and we need to change that. And instructors and teachers like you in STEM are a big part of that, talking to the parents. So speak to that, please.
Yeah, so the parents understand that in my class, the students have various design challenges I give them. I give them different materials and say, okay, your challenge is to make a bridge that can hold this much weight and you have this much time, right? And then so taking that and bringing it to having them make the connection to your company and manufacturing, the students go home and they talk to their parents, and their parents, I think, also don't really understand manufacturing that much because they learn from their students then, wow, this is really hands-on. It takes a lot of skill. Maybe my student doesn't need, you know, to go to college. My child doesn't need to go to college. They can get a really good job out there that's hands-on that they could be passionate about without putting forth all the money ahead of time too.
You know, Alicia, a lot of companies in manufacturing, they'll actually help pay for a student's, a young person's education, particularly if they're in the field of being within the company. Do you think a lot of parents have that understanding, or are they, you know, wrangling their hands about how am I going to pay for a 4-year college education?
Yeah, I really think that as a middle school teacher, we're always saying, we're helping your child get ready for high school. And then when the kids go to high school, they're always saying, oh, we got to get you ready for college. And really, I think parents focus on that too in this day and age. I mean, when my parents were younger, college wasn't really that pushed as much as it is now. And I feel like it is pushed a lot. Like, this is what you do. You go to elementary school, middle school, high school, and then you go to college. But I think that opening the kids up to this experience, and even like renting out your book to the parents and having them read that, it opens their eyes to see that there are other options out there. And it's really nice to know that even manufacturing companies would help pay for additional schooling to help them progress in the industry.
Well, I think one of the things that you alluded to with the book that I wrote, Inspiring Champions in Advanced Manufacturing, having the two-sided book where the parents and the students can have direct connections and direct engagement early in the game, in middle school. I think that's a change in our culture that I hope will persist going forward. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've rented out your book a couple times to different families, and it's awesome how you have the parallel. You know, the parents can read a chapter of their side and the students could read a chapter of their side, and they could really start having those conversations about different options that they have moving forward. It's something I've honestly have never seen before in our libraries, or, you know, going through my master's degree or anything. And I think it's a really nice concept for the parents to actually have those discussions with the children about it as well.
Well, Rory, I'm going to hand the conversation back over to you to close. But, there's just never enough time to spend time with an educator like Alicia. And I hope to see more young teachers leading the way into manufacturing careers like her.
Well, thank you, Terry. I'm saying this a lot more frequently. Another great guest, Terry. Another great job. Alicia, appreciate you for coming on. I want to point out, STEM teachers from K through 12, they're so essential to us right now. We have a 3.8 million deficit in workers in this country by 2030. And we need engineers, we need technicians, we need people to go get that 4-year engineering degree. We need people to get certifications to work in this industry as well. So Terry's, book kind of dispels some of those misconceptions or that stigma around vocational, and I think the pendulum's starting to move. So Alicia, what you do, and Terry, what you do is so important, so essential to moving manufacturing along in this country, raising up our middle class and providing good jobs and elevating the nation as a whole. So, good on you. Terry, another great guest. Alicia, thanks for being here. I hope to talk to you again soon. This is Rory Francis signing out for Manufacturing Champions.